G'day everyone, Pete Coman here for another exciting episode of The Tech Effect, and as always, my good friend beside me is Mark the Bearded Tech Skian. Welcome,
Hello.
Mark.
Thanks, Pete. How are you?
I'm great. Yourself?
Killing it. We're going
Killing
great
it.
guns. Yeah.
Where are we?
We're at ISE Amsterdam 2020.
Yes.
2020.
Correct.
And
you're very good at math.
It's the last day, so you know.
It's the last day. Yeah.
We're running out of puff.
That's true. That's true.
But yeah. Anyway, that's not why we're here.
That's not why we're here.
Why we're here is because
Tell us why we're here.
we get a lot of questions.
Yeah.
About the equipment that we're using.
Correct.
So we're going to do this segment, and it's going to be called Show Us Your Rig. Right? Show us your rig. Not that rig. You know, we just saw Pete's rig.
Right.
But we're actually really going to show us the rig. So what we're going to do is run through what you got.
Yep.
And some of the good things you love about it and some of the things you don't like about it, or the things that annoy you, and how everything comes together. So,
sounds good.
Tell us. So, Pete.
Mark.
Show us your rig.
Show us your rig.
All right.
Okay, right. So what I've got, a lot of people stop me when I'm at trade shows and want to have a look at my setup. It's taken a while to get it all right and put it all together. I started off just using like an iPhone like most people do, but it gets a bit shaky. And so I actually bought a gimbal similar to yours to hold the iPhone, but then I found it was a bit big, bulky, and it didn't quite work. You're trying to get audio into it. Right?
Yeah.
So I was looking for another solution, and then I came across the DJI Osmo Pocket, which is this little bad boy here. And what this does, let me just pull this out like so. That's it, right there. You can see it's a very, very small camera. It's a 3-axis gimbal camera. It actually can shoot in 4K, right? Which is quite impressive.
Yep.
I don't shoot in 4K because it chews through the batteries quicker. It gets pretty hot, and it takes up a lot more space on the storage card. So
it's storing onto there, not onto your iPhone.
It stores onto here. So there is a little micro SD slot here, and I've just got a 120 gigabyte card in there.
Yeah.
And what it has, what I love about it, it's very, very quick to start up. So I just turn that on, and within seconds, you can see it's ready to point and shoot. It has a little screen. It has a little screen right here, but it's a little on the small side. So what I do is I pair it. The reason why I've got my iPhone here, or a iPhone, and the reason, just a tip for all you up and coming videographers, don't do what some people do, right? Don't do what some people do. I'm not going to name any names, all right, at all, right, because they wouldn't like it if I pointed out what they were doing.
What are you pointing at, Pete?
Nothing.
Oh, sorry.
Nothing. Don't use your personal iPhone. Okay? Don't use your personal iPhone. Use an older iPhone, because otherwise you're constantly checking it for messages, and people are ringing and all sorts of stuff's going on, then the battery goes flat and so on. So I have a dedicated iPhone here that I use, which is not used for anything else, that's in flight mode, that's in do not disturb, it's got no notifications on it whatsoever, just the bare bones software that I need to get this to work. All right, so we have the camera. This is fantastic, okay? 3-axis gimbal camera. It moves around. It's so smooth. It's so light, so small. It's fast to start up, and it goes in your pocket. But what I do is I attach it to the iPhone like so, and then what you do is it will, let me just start it, find the app. Wrong app.
Device not supported.
That's right.
Going well so far.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
very well.
yeah.
Anyway, so what you do is you turn the phone on, and what it will do is automatically start up the app for you. I'll show you a demo in 1 second. Okay, so you can see the magic of live TV. So I basically just use it as a viewfinder. right? And
big screen.
It is. It's just a big screen. Okay, it's not doing anything. It's not storing the information on there at all.
Do you have any control over the camera?
Absolutely.
From the iPhone?
Yeah, yep, absolutely. So when you have it set up, so quite often you can see what I've got. I've got it on this, basically a selfie stick.
Yep.
Okay, and I've got a tripod on the bottom.
So I think it's important. You know, we're not sponsored here. Just to be clear.
You can tell we're not sponsored.
Yeah. But I think what's important here is we actually tell the brands as we're going, because this is a DJI.
This is a DJI.
Tripod.
Most of this stuff is DJI. They make some really good stuff when it comes to portable video equipment.
Yeah.
So this is actually 2 parts. So down here, I'll unlock it. This is just a detachable tripod, okay, and that just screws into the bottom of the. This is actually a selfie stick, the black part here from DJI. The tripod's also from DJI. The tripod folds out like so, and then it also has these extension feet to make it more stable.
So how high does this go?
All right. So when we put it in that mode, and then what I do to actually get it in selfie mode, you have this extension stick like this. So it probably comes up to just over waist height, maybe 1.2 meters, right, or so, for that.
Probably shouldn't have put those stabilizers away.
Exactly. And then it just folds up in there. Now, the beauty of this is that when you can actually turn around and have it set up for face tracking.
Yeah.
So I can actually set it up and click on my. It's a bit hard to show you guys here, but if I go into selfie mode, so you can press the button 3 times, it goes into selfie mode, and what I can do is do follow.
Yeah.
And it'll track me.
Yeah. Spin around there, Pete. Just go that way, and so the camera will see us there. You can see it tracking you. All right. And you've also got. You're right there, are you?
Oh, sorry.
You look beautiful, sweetheart. So you've also got some other functionality in this camera, yeah? Time lapse and tracking on your time lapse.
Yeah. So another feature that this camera has nothing to do with the phone, is you can actually do a point-to-point time lapse tracking.
Yep.
So I can have a start point and a finish point, and because it's a 3-axis gimbal camera, you can actually go from low to high or whatever, and so it does your normal time lapse, but also pans across and moves from from the start point to the finish point and does a time lapse. And it looks amazing. So you get some really nice shots out of it.
Yeah.
You can also, using the screen, I can actually control the camera as well. So I can turn around and once again, it's a bit hard to show you, but there's a little button on here, and I can actually control the axes of the camera of what it's pointing at.
Right. Okay.
From the screen.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, what about this here? So, how much of this you've got your selfie stick? How much comes together, as in you buy it together, and how much is adaptations of everything and added to?
So you've got the tripod, which is separate.
Yeah,
the selfie stick is separate. And then I've got this little mount for the iPhone, which is separate.
Yeah.
And this is separate. It's from the same company. I think you can buy these 2 together.
Right, but it's not a DJI product.
No, they're not DJI. No.
Even though this is a DJI camera and it's made for a DJI
Correct.
Pocket.
Yeah, I don't know if they actually make one. I haven't seen one. The accessories are somewhat limited, like genuine DJI accessories are somewhat limited.
Yeah.
But this company here, Ulanzi, Ulanzi, for anyone who's interested. The reason why I like this is because it's a metal construction, and what it does, there are some others that I've tried, but they're too flimsy.
Yeah.
Like, even though they're metal, it's just the way that it's actually designed. Where this actually is a clamping.
Is it a thread there?
Yeah, it's a thread.
So you can just tighten it down, nice and firm.
Yeah, so it's a clamping screw, right?
Yeah, right.
And you tighten that up, and that just compresses on the phone. And this little plastic bit here is just to support the DJI Pocket a little bit better.
All right, and then you've got some additions that you can add to there. So you don't normally just have this setup, right?
I've got some other setups as well.
You throw your GoPro in there.
Well, what I can do is I can put my GoPro on this cold shoe mount at the top, so I can screw that in. Audio-wise,
why would you do that? Why would I do that? Why would you put your GoPro? I mean, you've already got a camera, so what's the point?
So when I'm walking through a show, first thing is the GoPro has a 120 degree, field of view. So it's got a nice wide angle lens on it, where the DJI is a lot narrower. I think it's about more like 70 degrees.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to capture something, trying to capture a lot and you're quite close up, the DJI is not that great for it, where I can use the GoPro. Right? Or I can get up close. I can just get up closer to things and record stuff. But I also use the GoPro for doing time lapse, but more so they have another I can't remember what it's called. They have another function in there that actually does a time lapse whilst you're walking, and it's a lot smoother.
All right. And that's a feature in GoPro.
In the GoPro
8.
That's the 7.
7.
That's the 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's called hyperlapse or motion lapse, or it's called something I can't remember. But I found that when you're walking around like a trade show floor like we do, it actually is a lot smoother when you play it back rather than a time lapse. The time lapse gets a bit jumpy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I use that. Bundle it together.
Yeah. Right. Okay. And so video is only half the deal.
Correct.
Right. We've got to get audio in here.
Mm-hmm.
So this first, before we even get to the mixer and the audio, so the adapter you've got going on here to get to that.
So once again, this is another DJI accessory that you add into it. So it has a little mounting point on the side here.
Yeah.
Okay. And this piece here just screws in, and then that allows me to put in cold shoe mounts, which is just your typical video set of mount.
Yeah. Sure.
Right? So, and then what I've got here is just a passive mixer. Right?
Yeah.
Because quite often what I'm doing, I'm walking around with multiple microphones. So I might be interviewing someone, and I might have the lapel, and they might have the handheld, or both have lapels.
So this is a Saramonic.
Yes.
Just so you know, just for the audience, it's a SR-AX100.
Correct.
All right. So it's a
They're not
two-channel.
expensive.
It's a passive mixer.
Passive mixer.
Yeah.
Correct. I find the audio gets a little low at times, so you've got to be careful with that because it's passive.
Yeah.
So you've got to make sure you get the settings right.
So then you've got some gain control in your mic receiver that you can just give it a bit of a kick.
I've got gain control here on the passive mixer as well.
Yeah.
Right. And then I've got control over the output of the mic as well.
Yeah. So the gain control here really though, when it's flat chat up to 10, that's the line level, the level that's coming out of your receiver. Yeah. So you're only turning it down. You can't actually ever turn it up.
No, you're not. Sorry, it's not. Yeah,
it's not.
Technically, it's not gain as such. It's just it's controlling the gain.
Yes.
On it.
Yeah. So
that's right.
You can give it a bit of a kick on the receiver just to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it does mono or stereo. So you've got 3 inputs at the back. So you got a mono or the 2 inputs on the stereo side. And then there's that output. So it's just 3.5 mil. I use the Shure wireless microphones, and this is just the FP5 receiver.
Yeah.
Just fairly stock standard wireless receiver.
So some of the little things you do that, when we have these conversations about our rigs, is that you go, I used to do that, but.
Yeah.
One of the things is really simple, but it's labeling.
Correct.
Right?
Yes. So you might have noticed I've actually got, because we've got multiple microphones, so I've got 2 lapels, 2 receivers and 1 handheld. Sometimes it gets a bit confusing of what goes where and so on. So simple thing like labeling really, really helps when you're trying to put all this stuff together quite quickly when you're trying to do a shoot.
Yeah. But you've also, how you label is important too, right? Because you're always in a hurry, typically, and if you got someone on the fly, you've got to get this stuff together fast, as we've experienced a couple of days ago.
Yes, correct.
Didn't all go to plan.
No. And the thing is, because I use these belt pack receivers, they look almost identical to the belt pack transmitters.
Yes.
So I used to just have mic 1 for the receiver and the transmitter, but sometimes when you're in a hurry, you pick up the wrong one and you attach it to the wrong device, right? So, as I said, just because they look identical, the only real difference is that the receiver has 2 antennas and the transmitter has 1 antenna on it. So other than that, at first glance, you couldn't really tell. So that's why I actually have mic 1 RX on there for the receiver.
Yeah, and that's important, really. I mean, it's all these little things that make a difference into being able to quickly get content. Because the challenge is that I find with all this content creation is you've got to be ready.
You've got to be ready. You've got to be ready to shoot.
You've got to be ready to shoot. So, it even comes back to how you transport this around as well.
Well, that's what
you've got a bag.
I've got a bag. I don't like carrying the bag with me. I like to try to be as light as I possibly can. Hence why I've got this. This is super nice. It gives really clear shots. Not the best in low light. So like sometimes these trade shows, we've got some very low light conditions that we're dealing with. So we'll also I've got my big camera that I'll bring along from time to time to do a more sort of production shot like we're doing now. It's a bit weird using the word production when we're talking about us, isn't it?
Yeah.
Production.
Well,
we're using it very loosely.
Pretty epic stuff that we're delivering here.
So I love this. It's light, it's easy. I can carry it all day, and it just sort of balances. I just sort of carry it like that. Yeah.
And so all our Tech Effect videos to date have been done on this. Yeah, we don't use Pete's big rig. We only use his little rig.
This is my little rig. I have a bigger rig.
Yeah.
Correct.
Anyway, you've also got
we've got some more equipment.
You've got some more cool toys, and this is obviously a GoPro.
Yeah, this is my GoPro. I use the Joby tripod. The reason why I use this, I've tried a few different tripods over time, but the reason why I like this one is because I can actually attach it to things. So you might have a railing or something like that, and you want to attach the camera to it. You can actually just bend the legs in sort of whatever configuration and grab onto the railing and film it. Yeah. And so once again, I'll do time lapse or whatever. It's waterproof. You can take it's pretty much indestructible, so you can take it anywhere. The other thing that I'll tend to do also is I have a suction cap mount. So quite often if I'm in an Uber or traveling somewhere on a train or a plane even, what I'll do is I'll actually put this on the suction cap mount and get some nice shots out the window, just getting some, just putting things into perspective.
Yeah. Well, the thing with video is it's great just to do things like this, but you also need filler.
That's right. You need to put some filler in around it.
When you're editing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that's, as I said, I like this. I like this tripod. It's nice and light, easy to carry, flexible. It gives you kind of the best of both worlds, really.
Yeah, sure. Yep. All right. And you've got one
more. And also, by the way, I recently purchased this, which is a little mount for the DJI Osmo Pocket.
So that can go into your Joby.
Yeah. So I take off the GoPro and then I put that on there, and then I can do the same kinds of things. So it's everything's interchangeable, which is really, really nice.
Yeah, nice one.
But I have one other camera that
these are pretty amazing, and they do get a lot of attention.
They do get a lot of attention when I
know how much you love attention.
Yes, I'm an attention seeker. These are my Vuzix glasses. They're augmented reality glasses, and they actually have a little camera built into them, which it's not on at the moment, but it's up here, and then there's a screen over here, so I can, you can actually see what you're filming, but not that you really need to. It's really just point and shoot. So whatever I'm looking at, it'll be recording. Yeah. So once again, the whole idea of it is just trying to give a different perspective of when we're at these shows of what we're looking at.
Yeah. Right? It's straight out of the eye. You're looking exactly what you're looking at.
Whatever I'm looking at, you are getting back home.
Yeah. And so how do you? Is there SD card in there?
Yeah.
SD?
So just. A thing that I found out when I first got these glasses, it only supports storage up to 32 gig, right? Which, in the scheme of things, it's not too bad, but when I first got them, I put the 128 gig micro SD card in there, and it's like, well, it's not working. No, it just wasn't working. I'm like, it's saying, because I think there's like 6 gig of storage, internal storage there, and then I wanted that extra, room. The footage doesn't take up, like what you film doesn't take up that much space.
Yeah, unlike say the GoPro files, which are
correct,
quite
can be large, or the big cameras and stuff like that. So, but we just try to give people a different perspective. So we have different cameras for different.
And what about battery life on these things?
Yeah, it's not too bad. Well, it's not the best. I mean, you can see the glasses aren't terribly huge. Right? They're bigger than normal glasses. The battery life, I get about probably about half an hour continuous recording out of it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and
so don't walk into a trade show and then get it all done in half an hour, and then sort of you're at your stuff for the rest of the day until you can go out and charge it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And I carry a battery pack with me as well. Let me grab that.
Pete's battery pack is something to behold. It's a big sucker.
That's what she said. All right, so I have this. This is my battery pack. It's from Anker. It's the largest battery pack you can buy that you're allowed to take on a plane.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it could actually charge my laptop. It charges all my devices. So it has 3 USB ports on it.
Yeah.
One's got fast charging there, and I can have all 3 devices charging simultaneously, and it works really, really well. It's not too heavy, right? It's not too bad, but it really saves you when you're out and about. So even things like with the glasses, I could run the battery down, plug it in, keep it in my bag, and still charge them. So
nice one.
that's another one. Yeah.
And then your little suction cap.
And that's the GoPro suction cap that I use. And once again, all these mounts are interchangeable, so you can swap them around pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
nice one. And that is a GoPro. Oh, it's a GoPro.
That's a proper
GoPro brand.
That's a GoPro mount.
Yeah, nice one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Pete.
I think that's. Oh, actually, the only thing that I brought along to the show, but I don't have with me at the moment, is my drone.
Oh, yeah, you got some cool footage.
Yeah, I got some cool footage. I got some more footage this morning outside because the weather's been pretty crap. So I went out there and got some shots of the rye and the areas and stuff. So that's another cool device. It's the smallest DJI drone that they make. It's a 249 gram drone, so I don't need a license to operate it, and get some really good shots as well.
Yeah, I think the thing that I've learnt here is that don't try and get it all in one day.
No,
because it'll cost you a fortune.
No, that's and for me, a lot of it was trial and error, right?
Yeah.
Like I kind of tried different cameras and solutions and things, and some things worked and some things didn't.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, work at what works for you.
Yes,
and
correct.
Then, change it, adapt it if you need to on the fly.
Absolutely.
There you go. So that's awesome. Thanks for showing us your rig, Pete. Righto. So next episode, I'm going to show you my rig, and I know it's a sight to behold. Don't worry, you're going to love my rig.
Right.
Most people do.
Yes.
So tune in for that, and we'll see you again soon.
Catch you soon.
Bye.
Bye.